wanted to point out that I figured out that my use of alcohol sort of is like turning off the lights and not realizing that I'm going down the hill. You know, I'm going to crash. So learning how to drive the car, put on the brakes, and turn it around is important.
Let us give you something here that we think will be helpful. Beating up on yourself about any behavior that you've chosen is counterproductive. So which feels better? I soothed myself a bit through alcohol, or in my weakness I chose something to numb myself out. Which felt better?
In my weakness, I chose something to, yeah.
Well, now we're going to say it again because that was the wrong answer.
All right.
Because what you chose was what society wants you to accept. We want you to feel it from the way your inner being feels about you. Your inner being is always giving you the benefit of the doubt. Do any of you say, I should never ever drink? I should never drink because it's wrong? Is it wrong? Is it in and of itself wrong?
Not in and of itself.
So what is it that makes that seemingly a wrong choice?
It screws up my emotional guidance system horribly. I do not read my emotions or those around me when I use.
We don't disagree with that, but there's a deeper, more important conversation that we want to have first. And that is, can you find a way of loving yourself rather than beating up on yourself? Because there's a big difference between getting into the receptive mode where you are following impulses from broader perspective and using willpower to not do things. You see what we're getting at? So using willpower to not do things, to say, I will never do this again. This is the bane of my existence. This is what is causing all of my problems. We want to say, no, there was a problem before that. It was a problem of misalignment that this for a little while seemed to soothe, and your motive of being soothed is not the wrong motive. That's really all we're saying with this. Okay. It's not the wrong motive to want to feel good. That's not the wrong motive. There could not be a righter motive than to want to feel good. And so what goes wrong with so many is that, okay, maybe it's a good idea to not take that stuff. Maybe it does cause momentum to take you where you don't want to be. But do not go into a place where you're beating up on yourself. If you have to use self-inflicted punishment in order to prevent yourself from doing things, you're not in the receptive mode. Ooh, that was such a good thing to be said. We don't think anyone is going to easily leave behind something that they find not good for them while they're in the mode of beating up on themselves. And the only reason that it works at all is because you live in a society that has trained you to respond to negative impulses instead of listening for your guidance of alignment. It's like the difference between helping someone get so tuned in that they would never ever harm another and putting them in jail and torturing them because they harmed another.
Awesome.
Make sense?
Awesome. Yeah.
All right. So now what do you want to talk about?
Well, that was pretty much what I wanted to talk about.
Yeah. That's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So next time you feel inclined to have a drink, you might say to yourself, what's this about? What condition am I trying to soothe? And could I soothe around the condition? But if you've waited until you're at the bottom of the hill, you're probably going to take a drink. So just want to catch it earlier. And if you don't, no big deal. There is never a reason that is important enough or significant enough to get down on yourself. Because when you do, you've violated your most powerful intention of self-love.
Thank you.